So we are going to launch our S.I.M.P.L.Y Family Business, and that has come about as a result of me taking the step to go out there online to start making the online space something as regards to making money online. And indeed, I brought my children along. So what we are going to do now is walk you through what did we do and why is it important for you. Hello, Noah. How is it important for you to use the online space? Because if there is anything that is certain in this day and age, it is the fact that the internet is here to stay, and it's the fact that everything is going online. So we might as well get to know about it and also get to utilize it for our own good. So if you have been invited here by any chance and you don't know who I am, my name is Beatrice Yakubu. I am the founder of Beatrice Yakubu Media. What we did was use social media to help entrepreneurs to market their business, i.e., get them to get exposure online, because with the online space you can reach more people, not just people from your locality. So that is what we've been doing. But of course, I have had these questions time without number. Are you mentoring people? Are you helping people? And that is the reason why I feel that it is about time that we have this in place in terms of getting you to understand the process. And of course, if that is what you desire to do, we can support you to have that. Now, I will call on my daughters to introduce themselves briefly. We will talk about our story as we go along, but indeed, it's just a brief introduction for now. So, Blessing, can you introduce yourself, please?
Hello. Oh, hello.
So you need to get the speak. Okay, because I'm sharing. Yeah, that's fine. Go on.
Okay, so you can see me. Yeah. All right, so hi to everyone who doesn't know me. My name is Blessing Yakubu, and I am a social media influencer with over 30,000 followers. And from that, I've been able to branch out and also do social media management as well.
Thank you. What about you, Vanessa?
Hi, everyone. Can you see me?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you all for coming. So in case you don't know, a bit of a background on me. I used to do a food account on Instagram, but since then I have slowly progressed into becoming a web designer and working with people all around the world. So like Italy and America and obviously the UK. And kind of helping them with their branding and web design. I'll go into more detail in later on in this call, but yeah, that's a preview.
Thank you so much, Vanessa, for that. So here is the thing in terms of what we are going to talk about. That's I want to share with you 5 reasons why I think that you should start a business with your child, because we send our children to school, they go to school, they learn skills, but the important thing that they should be learning, which is about money, our children don't get to be taught about money. So we come out from school, we're looking for jobs. At this point in time, even there are no jobs going, or they just settle for anything other than using their God-given skills, which will empower them more, because if you are using your talent, if you are using your natural talent, life becomes a lot easier, other than kind of forcing yourself to do things that you would rather not do. So the school don't teach us. And one of the guys I follow online would always say, when they talk about online space and people go, it's a scam. He says the schools is the biggest scam, because they get teachers to teach you about business, teachers who has never even issued an invoice. Like, they have never done business before. I did a business degree, and what did I get? I was taught how Tesco ran their business. I was taught how Amazon ran their business. But what I wasn't taught was even how is somebody who is just passionate about making cakes, for instance, how they can sell. Someone who is passionate about making a sauce, and I know that Pastor Catherine, that's what she's trying to do now. how she can sell her souls. So if the school is not teaching us, and if they're not teaching us and not teaching our children, I think in this day and age, we have to start thinking differently. And then so that we can teach our children the basic principles, one about entrepreneurship and two about money, because at the end of the day, we are going to school to come and go to work for what? To earn a living. Why don't we teach our children in a young age? Another quote somebody made was that if those who died in the 90s, if they come back to this world, they will not recognize anything in the world except the classroom, because the classroom is not changing. It's up to us to change that for our children. The next thing is that your children know the internet more than you do. Believe it or not, they do. It is interesting when you look at how much our children know as far as the online space is concerned, because they are born into it. I remember when I started, I did not know anything, literally anything about social media. It took me forever to open a Facebook account and open a Facebook page. And while we were on a holiday in Spain, just by the pool, Vanessa, a few minutes, Vanessa opened an Instagram, a Facebook page. And then she told me what she did. And I said, you mean you just did it here? And she said, yes. And I said, I spent the whole night trying to figure this thing out. So, and I believe that most of you will have the same stories as well, even just your common phone. The things that your child can do on that phone, you can't even think about it. So because they know about the internet, and there are so many opportunities on the internet, we need to help them so that we are able to they are able to use the internet productively rather than just using it to follow celebrities or follow things that do not matter to them. Your child also knows how to make money, or they know how money is made online. One thing that these days children know is about following YouTubers, following influencers, following celebrities. They are quite good at that. The reason is that when they are following these people, they see them making money day in, day out. They see them getting tons of followers and actually creating a living out of it. And literally you can, as in the next slide you see, you can follow somebody and just see how their life transforms. It's amazing how that happens. Our children see that, but why are they not doing it themselves? I will tell you why in a minute. Now, in terms of them making money, this young man is called Montitled. I have followed this guy from last December. I've been following this guy and I follow him progressively. How he's making money online is amazing. Only last May, when he was doing his YouTube. So if you want, you can check him, Montitled on YouTube. He made a video just a few days ago about how he made $20,000 a month, and that is not a year, a month. In last May, he made what, 12,000. He made a video, and the point is that when he's doing that, he is showing you how he did it as well. It's not as if it is something that he's hiding. He's showing you step by step what he's done. So our children follow and they see that. But the reason why they are not doing it themselves is because of commitment. And I will share that with you as we go along. The next guy is called Noah. I've forgotten his surname. He used a software called ClickFunnels. So ClickFunnels, for those of you who know a bit about internet marketing, ClickFunnels is a software that people use to do sales. This guy has literally made millions. He's only 14. I think now he's 15. He has made millions just providing that service. So if for nothing at all, if your child just learn a skill of a software, go on Upwork, they are going to make money. And what would that do for you? What would that mean for you in terms of, one, you working with them and getting the satisfaction of knowing where your child is? For me, that's my priority anyway, knowing where your child is, as well as not giving them chop money or pocket money. When I say chop money, that's the Ghanaian language, so forgive me on that. And these other girls, Maya, this one, she's also an internet marketer. This lady is a beauty consultant, and she is also making a lot of money. Aliyah, she made Zollipop because at age 7, her dad said she can't buy lollipop, and she said, why not? He said it will damage your teeth. He says, why can't we make lollipop that will be interesting, that would taste nice, but it won't just damage teeth? And she has worked closely with her dad and has created a multi-million-dollar company just selling sweets. Now, what do these people have in common? Parents are involved. I think apart from Montel, and Montel is over 20, that perhaps is the reason. Most of them is the parent who is involved and actually helping and supporting them to do this. So in a nutshell, if you take nothing at all from this meeting, is take away the fact that if you support your child, they will do wonders, you will be surprised. Now, our children have a lot of time in their hand. The point is, if you calculate the time they wake up from bed to go to school and come back, let's say that from morning till 4 o'clock, they are busy because they go to school and come back 4 o'clock to 9 o'clock. So for teenagers, they won't go to bed until 9 or even later. How many hours is that? 5 hours. Say they use 1 hour to do their homework and 1 hour to chill. How many hours do they have? 3 solid hours every day. Calculate that by 1 week and see how many hours is that. So we leave them and then they are playing on their gadgets and then we are running around looking for money and then we have to get the money and come and give them and they are still just chilling. We are doing the Netflix, whatever it is that our children love to watch. And you know, when they have the skills to do this thing, and that, in my opinion, is what I want you to understand from this conversation, because as you would hear from Blessing and Vanessa, they have done it. I don't have to give them any money ever, and by God's grace. And if you can do that with your child, even before they become adults, the chances are they have already learned to win this game called making money, or win this game called, you know, having an online, or just making money basically, or making a living. And indeed, their life will be a lot easier. The last but not the least reason is that you want to stay at home with your child. And I don't know if I could ask you this question. Would you want to stay at home with your child? Would you want to be close to your child? Would you want to ensure that when they're going to school, you are there to say goodbye? When they're coming from school, you are there to receive them and perhaps cook for them, help support them with their homework? Would you want that? Would you want to have at least an hour a day with your child? Because statistics shows that we are not talking with our children. And the reason why we are not is because we don't have time. You have to go to work. For especially those of us who live in London, a friend was telling me, he spent 3 hours a day on commute, 3 good hours a day on commute. Now, if you are spending that, how much are you going to earn, and how much time would you then have for a child? Not a lot, especially in London where cost of living is high. So you need to find a way so that you are generating the income to be able to sustain yourself, and then at the same time be with them, because I am able to be with my children all the time. You know, we are still working out on them, you know, growing and leaving home at some point, but at least for now, I get to have the opportunity of enjoying time with them. There's a saying that money is replenishable, time is not. So we watch them grow to the point that they leave. And there is no real bond because we are hustling. And I always show this example because my mom is in Ghana, and sometimes I wish that I could just go and stay with her when I was working, and I couldn't because one, they won't give me time that is suitable to me. Number two is that I won't be able to afford it to just go and sit in the village and be with her. But what if we get our children prepared? It is for us as well, so that when they grow older, or when we grow older, they can't say that, Mom, I can't come and sit with you for a day, because you know that money is not an issue for them. So what's your problem? So that alone, I feel, is something that we need to think about critically. Now, back to my journey. How did I start? I was born in Ghana. So for those of you who actually don't know where I was born in Ghana, into a very big family. My dad had 7 wives and he was a chief. So before you say, wow, 7, yes, he was a chief. So 7 wives, over 30 children. And indeed, growing up wasn't easy because I was the 4th of 7 from my mom. And in a culture where predominantly men are so highly rated, I used to say that, you know, if my mom, if it was in a different culture, perhaps my mom would have given me out because fourth child was daughter was too much. But she kept she kept me and looked after me. I had one thing we used to walk about 10 kilometers to and from school once we got to middle school age. So I am just typical. You had to walk because there was no school available. At some point, my dad decided that he couldn't look after us because we were too many and it was too expensive for him. Our mothers came and pleaded that he should allow us to go to school so that they would take responsibility. And that is what my mom did. And I owe her that gratitude all the time, because without that, perhaps I will be in the village. Moving on, I had one thing that I was looking up to, one person that I looked up to, my dad's eldest daughter. She was a nurse, and I just absolutely loved the fact that how she talked with people, how she made people feel better when she came to the village, and I just wanted to be a nurse. So at age 21, guess what? I was a nurse, and nursing was good, great. You know, age 21, earning income in Ghana is a big deal. But a few years later, God willing, I had the opportunity to come to the UK. And when I got to the UK, that's when life actually began, because my children, Blessing was born in Ghana. And then so I left her with my mom and came and got here, temperature 30, minus, from 26 to -3. You can imagine how that was. That was my experience anyway. Got here up to the north, so I didn't see anything in London. I didn't even know that there were many Black people. And it happened that my children were, Blessing, for instance, was the only girl, the only Black child in their school for a very long time. I did not know that it had an impact on her, but I could see her changing or not growing, or not complying with what I was talking about. She didn't know anything about my culture. If you were talking to her about Ghana, it's just like a blurry thing. But there was a deeper meaning. And when I saw signs, I wanted to bring my family. I mean, my husband is quite chilled. So, and for most of you, you know how men are. They're just chilled. Some of them are just chilled. So he couldn't even see. I just wanted to move my family to London. So I came to London, did an interview as a nurse, and plus my sister Aisha is in London as well. So it would be nice, and that was my thinking, so that they were able to play with their cousins all the time. I had a job and then went back to get ready. And then one day I went to school to pick them. Yandana my last born was only about 2. And then the teacher said, go to the office, the headmistress office. And then I said, why? He says, oh, she just wants to talk to you. And then I got there, and they pointed me to this room, 2 people, 2 men and a woman. I went in, and lo and behold, it was 2 police and a social worker. And so what's this all about? They said, your child says you've been abusing her. Blessings reported that you've been abusing her. Can you imagine? I am a nurse. My husband is a nurse. We have looked after children. Like my whole life, I have always looked after children. And to say that I abused my child was just ridiculous. So I was defensive and doing all that. And then the lady finally said, is there anyone who can look after your children? I said, what do you mean? And she said, because the way you are talking, the children are not safe with you. That was when it dawned on me that I needed to change the language. So if you are listening to me, perhaps you have experienced this before, or maybe someone has experienced it, or someone is experiencing it right now. When it comes to that, you need to change your language. You need to accept that things you need to just kind of play along. Otherwise, your children are gone. That was it. So I had to just take in a deep breath and then change my tone completely. I said, yeah, fine with me. I'm cool. But I wasn't. So I got home with Blessing, and every day I would remind her of this incident. The following day, social worker came. We solved everything because I brought her all my albums and showed her the children we have looked after up to university level. You know, how I lost my first child. And it took me another 4 years to, I just asked her, do you know why she's called Blessing? Because it took me a long time to get her. She is the apple of my eye, literally. So she let go, but I didn't. I was still bitter. And if you're a mother here, I want you to understand that. I'm getting emotional about it, but I want you to understand that sometimes we vilify our children for no reason, or because perhaps we don't know, because I did not know. The fact that she only told a friend about what we were doing, because by age 7, she was washing dishes. That's one thing that, you know, English children don't do that. And there was so much responsibility that we were giving her at home, which English standards, they don't accept that. So that was the reason. So, you know, but I did not let go. I was just going on and on and on about it until one day, as I was, so because of that, she also just developed this hardness around her. Nothing I talked to her would penetrate, nothing, absolutely. So one day, as I was, again, doing my African thing, she just curled herself on the windowsill. And then all of a sudden, she just looked down on that. My heart sank, and I went and hugged her. And I was crying. She did not understand what that all was about. You know, 1 minute you were insulting me, the next minute you are crying. The following day, I asked Mama Aggie, I was complaining to Mama Agnes, and she said, do you pray about this at all? And I said, what do you mean by pray? She said, do you actually kneel down and just ask God to show you the way to look after these children? And that was the turning point for me. So sometimes when we are battling with some of these things, our children, especially children in London, children in the United Kingdom, we just need to pray, and we just need to be ready to change. And that was the beginning of my change, my journey. And if you can see at the back, I've been reading books, how to look after teen girls, how to talk to anybody, how to win friends and influence people. I had to learn that. Around about that time, the government also increased the fees of university fees. And I was thinking, why would my children pay this kind of money? Because I was thinking of being able to pay for their university fees, but it wasn't going to happen because I didn't have the money. So I decided to go and look for the money in a different way, go to school, come back. There was no jobs, like I've been saying about. So a friend said, do agency. So I started agency, and agency was good. Now with nursing, I went to the ranks to become research nurse. So it's not that it was hard job. It was great job, but it wasn't fulfilling at some point. Did agency for some time, and government changed the rules again. It wasn't working for me, so I left. But just about the time I left, I met Caroline. And where did I meet this woman? Amazing woman. I met her on TV. So they say we shouldn't be watching TV, but TV brought me Caroline, and it brought Caroline into my life. There is a story about Roger Bannister. They say up to in the 50s, they used to say that no one could run 10 minutes, could run 4 minutes, and could run a mile in 4 minutes. For centuries, that was the holding, until Roger Bannister did it in the 50s. And of course, within 2 months, a lot of people did it. Caroline was my Roger Bannister, because when I saw Caroline, at that point, I didn't know that Black people made money in England. Honestly, I mean, it is bizarre to think, but I did not know that Black people could come from Africa and become millionaires in the white man's land, and be able to also be able to also support white people. So Secret Millionaire program, that's what it is. And I had to investigate Caroline and realize that she was somebody to follow. I followed Caroline really, really closely, and decided to go and look for business. Blessing, can you see who is talking and mute the person?
Once other people. Small is getting paid every blessed day. Yeah.
Look at this. Yeah. Hello, Blessing.
Hi, yeah, sorry, hi.
Yeah, please see who is talking, and if you can mute the person, I'll appreciate that.
Okay.
Yeah, so I went for business meetings because I wanted to also do property like Caroline. Now, talking about that, and this is one tip for you, please. If you are here with your child, a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad, it is a book to read, because when you read that book, you like, your life will never be the same. You won't think the same. You will realize that you need to do certain things differently, and that is what happened with me. So when I did the discovery business meetings, I realized that social marketing was a thing. And why did I choose social media? Is because at that same point, I realized that my children, especially Blessing would not let go of social media. So my thinking was, what if I could, they say that if you can't beat them, join them. And that is what I did. And lo and behold, I would not lie to you, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy at all, because I did not have any idea. But gradually, when I started gaining traction, this lady followed me. In fact, she is my guardian angel when it comes to social media, because she had over 600,000 followers. She had been in the online game for years. And then she followed me. That was like bizarre. How can someone that powerful actually follow someone who is even don't know what they're doing? So I gave it my, my all, I would say, and also started, because I could now do social media with kind of skills. I then linked up with Caroline and followed Caroline. Now I've built my social media following to significant numbers. I got to meet Caroline at a special event in London, and then she offered me to come and work with her, which was an amazing experience. She introduced me to Donia. So Donia, if you're on this platform, hi to you. And Donia took me and the children to the next level, because my aim was not just me making the money, because I know that I have always made money since I was in Ghana. So making money wasn't anything that I couldn't do, but I wanted to also help my children to make the money. And if they start making the money themselves, then it's a no-brainer. And Donia has been able to help me, help the children build their confidence. So Donia runs a program called Amazing Parents Gem, and that's what Caroline was part of. And when I got to that event and saw the number of children lined up and talking about their experience, I just wanted that for my children. I just wanted it. And I wouldn't let Donia go until she gave us her support. And so from there, it just snowballed, and then the kids have been able to do all the things that you hear them say. Now, who have we worked with? Of course, I've worked with Caroline. Working with this lady currently. She is an American professor, and she does diversity and inclusion, supporting organizations to actually include racial issues in their agenda. Sylvia Milton has been a UK therapist for over 40 years, and coming online was a big challenge for this woman, even though she's done all these great things, being on radio, being on TV, being on TEDx speaker and all those things. But coming online was a challenge for her, and when we helped her to do that, she can't stop singing our praise. And then this lady, she has been a banker for years, and then decided to do therapy because she fell ill. And then she's now a lupus specialist, helping people who have the same condition to get rid of the pain as well. Now, you'll be glad to know we're finishing with my story. So financial investment, I had to invest in myself because I did not have the skills. All I knew was to look after sick people. I didn't know how to make money. I didn't know how to do social media. I didn't know how to do any of this. So if you are here and you're thinking, this sounds good, but I have no skills, everything is learnable in this day and age. You can learn it. I've learned from Paul O'Mahony. I've learned from John Pemberty. Andy Harrington, I'm still in his program, public speakers program. Nettie, so Nettie, if you are here, hi to you. Nettie is the lady who has helped me brought S.I.M.P.L.Y Family Business together, because even though people were asking me, are you coaching people? Are you doing this? In fact, I met people on LinkedIn, and then when I share my story, they say, so what are you doing? Are you helping other families with this? I didn't know how to do it until I contacted Nettie, and she just made me fall in love with this thing even more. I call it now a ministry, not even a business, because I just know the amount of number of children and their parents this will bring joy to. And Donia, of course, Donia has helped me with the children, as well as when I did financial education. Donia has been pivotal for me for that. Now, that's me done. Blessing. Thank you so much for listening. Blessing.
Yeah, hello.
Can you share a little bit more about you? What you have.
Okay.
Yes, say that way.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so just a backstory about me. When I was about 11 or so, I started to have skin problems. Started to get acne, so I spent a lot of time researching how to take care of my skin, what products worked, what didn't work, and I did a lot of trial and error. And as things progressed, I kind of just realized like it would be great for other people to have these tips and advice, so they wouldn't have to go through all that struggle and all that stress. But even before I thought about doing it as having a skincare account, me and Vanessa wanted to get onto Instagram, so we had a joint account. And it just wasn't, we weren't really into it. Posting wasn't good. I had my exams, and it was about skin and hair, and that's not really Vanessa's thing. So she dropped it and then eventually went on to do her food account, Tasty Time. So I continued it. And as I was posting, I just realized that a lot of people actually appreciated what I was posting, and that a lot of people actually needed or wanted the information that I was posting. And over time, as time went on, over the next 2 years or so, I was able to grow my account to over 30,000 followers. And because of that, I was also able to start monetizing my account, so I could charge companies money to post their products or post their whatever they wanted me to post. Like I literally could get paid to do that. And also from that, I've also been able to do social media management, working with an amazing woman, Auntie Mavis. I think she's on here. So she runs Miss Ghana UK, and I've been working with her to do their social media. And she also has this amazing athleisure brand called May & Co Activewear that I've also been helping along too. So that's my past 2 years sorted.
Oh yes, and then what about Reveal?
Oh yeah, sorry, this one's, oh, it's so recent. I'm also working with this upcoming app called Reveal, and essentially the app is for people in the beauty industry, so hairstylists, makeup artists, anyone doing that type of stuff, to be able to find clients more easily. And I've just started on with them.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for sharing that. Vanessa?
Yep, hello.
Yes, are you on? Okay, go on.
Yeah, so as I mentioned in the beginning of this, I used to do a food Instagram account. That was after I left the beauty space, because I realized that it wasn't really what I was interested in. And I'd always enjoyed cooking and nutrition and that kind of thing. So I did that for a couple of years. I collaborated with so many different businesses, really well-known restaurants like Shake Shack and Panban all around London. And I feel like that is kind of what really got me interested in the whole business space and collaborating with people, networking, and that kind of thing. However, recently I have been more focused on web design, because when I was doing my food Instagram account, I decided to create a food blog for it. And during the process of creating that and learning a bit more about websites, I realized that I was actually really passionate about that. And that was something that I wanted to pursue further. So yeah, I decided to start making websites for family members, and then eventually, after gaining loads of knowledge and spending sleepless nights teaching myself how to do these things, I started to branch out and actually provide it as a service for people. So one of the first people that I worked with was Sylvia Milton. She's an incredible woman, she's done so many things, worked with so many people, and helped a lot of people with their mental health. So she's someone that I see as really inspirational. And from there, the opportunities just kept snowballing, and I kept working with different people and expanding my services into branding and different forms of graphic design and all these kinds of things. So yeah, recently I've been working with an Italian man who is a therapist called Ili. He's great. I'm also working with Dr. Nakia, who is a professor at Yale University. And I am working with Auntie Mavis as well, for May & Co, which is her athleisure brand. So yes, and in September I will be becoming a computer science student, which is very exciting. So that's kind of an update.
Sorry?
That's more of an update of me. Yeah.
Yes, great. Thank you so much. Yes. So for parents, if you are listening, when I talk about getting your children to start business, it is, yes, they will start the businesses, but it doesn't mean that they won't go to school or they won't have the education as far as formal education is concerned, because my daughters are still schooling. The other thing that I want to bring to your attention is that if you are here and you perhaps are worried that, you know, the online space is so dark, sometimes they exaggerate it in a way that you don't want your children to be there. And I remember one lady saying that her children, she has to, the child, the first daughter had to be 16 before she gave her a phone. And then same as the second daughter, who was my son's age, didn't have a phone. Now, the point is that we can kind of perhaps delude ourselves saying that, oh, I'm shielding my child, but you don't know what they do online anyway. You don't know what they do at school. So you might as well guide them. And I mean this when I talk about social media. It's not just that I just open the social media for my children. I had to learn it so that I am guiding them to be able to do this and do it right. So yes, your child can still go to school and then indeed do and then still do business, because it is doable and it is possible. Now we are moving on to, we've nearly finished with talking about ourselves. We are going to move on to the process of the offer in terms of what it is that we want to help parents with, interest parents with. So we call this S.I.M.P.L.Y Family Business. Why we created S.I.M.P.L.Y Family Business. As you can see, that's my family. So myself, my husband, son, and two daughters. Son and father are in the background. They do certain things like following people for me on social media, but you know, they are not out there yet. Hopefully, we will get them to join us fully. I'm just going to introduce that a little bit, and then we will do a game called Kahoot, just to break you know, the monotony a little bit, and then we would I'll walk you through what the training is going to be, and how committed you've got to be able to be part of this. So S.I.M.P.L.Y Family Business is spelled the word simply, which is S.I.M.P.L.Y. So S is where we help you search for information. I is get the S is search for the information. I is identify the platform that you want to be on. M is for you to know the business process, and P is for you to position yourself in a way that people will come to you. L is to leverage all sources of online, either online or offline, so that you can get your information out there as to what you do. And then Y is yield. It needs to yield profits. It should be fun because children will be involved, but it has to be profitable, fruitful and profitable. That's why I call it a build a business, a fun, fruitful family business, because that should at least replace your income so that you can have time with your children and build a great bond with them. I'm going to walk you through what we offer, and of course, Blessing and Vanessa would also share as well, because some of these things, the training, they will be doing some of the training, because I actually intend it to be a fun business for families. So that is the S.I.M.P.L.Y Family Business. The word simply is spelled, so S, I will talk about S, and then the girls will talk about some of them. So search. In terms of when you're starting a business, you need to know your information. The Bible says that if you want to build a house, you need to ensure that you have your everything ready. That is, in this case, you need to have your information. So who do you want to serve? So that's your audience. Do you want to serve male, females, young people, older people, university students? Who are they? What are their interests? And so on. What do they watch? And all those kind of things. The next thing is that in what industry? What is it that you want to serve them? What industry is it? So you need to think about that in terms of your niche. And then the last thing is, who else is doing what you want to do? It's interesting sometimes in business. Somebody would say, and there's this lady I've worked with for some time now. She would say, "Oh, people are just stealing my ideas," and I've always chuckled at that, because there's a lot of information out there online, but how you implement it is another. And so when you're looking for a business idea, you're not looking for a completely new thing altogether. Otherwise, you would be forever struggling to make money. But you look for things that people are already doing. And as Caroline always says, standing in the shoulders of giants, because when you are doing it according to what someone else has done and has succeeded, there is a roadmap for you. Only that as we go along, you see where the difference will be in terms of your positioning and things like that. So that is what the search means. Next one is identify. Vanessa, can you take that, please?
Yeah, sure. So identify actually is about identifying which platform is best for you to get your business out there. So there are three main approaches that you could take, which is either owning your own website, using social media, which is one I would highly recommend, or using other sites, depending on what you do, such as freelancing websites, and that kind of thing. So if you're not really established or you're just starting out, then maybe a website might seem like a bit much, or you might not be able to afford it, or these kinds of things. It's okay. I don't think that a website is necessary to start at the beginning. However, as your website does progress, it would be extremely important to have a website, because that's your point of identification. When someone searches you up, that's the first thing that's going to come up. It's something that really helps you establish yourself as a legit brand, a legit business, and really just gets you out there in a really good way. And also it helps people have a direct place where they can contact you. The other option is social media. So first of all, thinking which social media platform would suit my business best. For instance, if you're trying to if you're more on the corporate side of things, then maybe you would want to take a look at LinkedIn rather than something like TikTok. Or maybe you want to have multiple. It honestly depends on your personal preference. Honestly, social media is free. It's easy to use once you get the hang of it. Again, you can get your children to help you with that. And honestly, I think that every single business should be using social media in some form. And then the last option is one that has helped both. I mean, in fact, it's helped all three of us, which is other websites. So ones like Fiverr. If you're a freelancer or someone in the web community, then you would definitely know those kinds of things, and Upwork and all of those types of things. They're a great place to really get yourself out there and start finding clients easily, because it's a place where all the clients are there. The clients are there looking for people like you. So it's a great place to get started. And also you'll find a lot of people in your industry, and you can kind of take bits of inspiration from them and add them to your business, and then kind of create a unique point in your business and really get yourself out there. So yeah, identify really goes into all of those things in detail, and helps you understand which platform is best for you.
Thank you, darling. Blessing, take mastery. Yes, I will do. So mastery and business process acceleration is essentially all about your business mission. So what is your business mission / statement? What is it? Why is it there? Why does it exist? So for example, if you look at Nike, Nike's mission is exercise, to get people to exercise, and that's reflected through how the brand operates as a whole. So who the brand works with, who they associate themselves ourselves with. You're not going to find Nike partnering with just anyone. 9 times out of 10, Nike is partnering with an athlete or someone who, you know, does sport, again, to reinforce the whole mission idea of them being about exercise. And also under mastery is goals, and specifically SMART goals. SMART goals are very important because it's great, you know, just having a goal in your head, but you have to sit down and actually get down to the specifics with it. So SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. So specific is essentially how specific is your goal. Obviously, it's great just saying like, I want to have a business, but you've got to look further into that. You can't just say, I want a business. You have to say, what is my business going to be? What's it going to be about? What am I going to sell? How am I going to make money? So that's S for specific. Then you have M, which is measurable. So how can you tell a before and after of your business? Because you obviously have to see how far you've come. You can't just do, I don't know, 2-3 months in business and still be in the same place. You have to be able to look back and say, okay, I've come this far. Then A is for achievable. So again, kind of going into specific, it's great saying, oh, I want to make however much amount of money, but is it achievable within a certain time period, or just are you able to achieve that in general? R is relevant. So is that goal specific to you? I'm just going to use the same one of the money. You could say, I want £1 million, but you may not actually want £1 million. You might just want enough to keep you and your family comfortable. And that's okay. That's what analyzing your goals is all about. And then T is for time bound. So obviously give yourself, not really give yourself a time, but more or less of just, you know, try and say by a year's time, I want to be doing this, or 2 years time, I want to be doing this, just to make sure that you're on track with what you're doing.
Thank you very much. So I will summarize the rest of them really quickly. So P is position, which is you want to position yourself. What about you will get people to be attracted to your business? And leverage, you want to use other means to get the word out there, because then again, this lady used to tell me, I am the biggest kept secret, and she's in business. And I said, you can't be in business and still be secret. So you need to come out there and get people to know what you do. And then yield is, yes, we want the business to be fun, but it has to also be fruitful, and it has to yield profit, at least to be able to replace your income so that you can have time with your children and have the fun to do the things that you've always wanted to do. So those are the simple module. Now, the training. This has to go through a couple of days because I intend it to be a hand-holding thing. As you saw from my story, I have had lots of training, and unbeknown to me, I will always sign up for training, and then I go for the training and finish, and that's it. There's no follow-up, and I'm lost. And when I get stuck, I'm actually stuck. I don't know what to do next. So based off that, I have decided that it will be 2 days of training. So write these days down, the 13th of August and then the 14th. So 2 days at least, so that your children get to use this month's, the holiday period effectively to actually get this started properly. Then following that, the next thing will be the ongoing support, because when I was thinking about this, yes, most of the trainings that I have been through is just the days and that's it. But I also know that you will need, something to fall back on. So we would have 3 hours every week to go through, and it's going to be a 4-week. So our one will be for just recapping those modules, like 2 modules every week for 3 weeks, and then the 4th week is a roundup and Q&As. Then we'll also have an hour of Q&A, so you're asking questions, because I will be giving you a checklist to be implementing the things that I believe that you need to work through to become successfully, to get success with regards to getting the business going. So you have questions, no doubt about that. And I'm just designing this based off what I wish I had when I was starting. how fast I would have gone if I had that hand-holding experience and hand-holding support. And then the third 1 hour would be an hour for yourself. So within the week, because what I also realized is that when it comes to group thing, you could have your questions and people will just butt in all the time with their questions, and then yours doesn't get to be answered. So I allocate an hour for you to ask your specific questions. And I also say that within these times, Blessing and Vanessa would be doing this with me, because as I keep saying, some of these things they know far, far more than I do. And I am the guardian. I help them with the strategy moving forward. So that is why I feel that you working with your child is very important, so that you get your questions answered in every week. You have an hour allocated to you. Then the workbook. So weekly, you would have to be going through the workbook as well, ticking the boxes. And especially when it comes to the online stuff, some of these things you can't even watch videos and then you'll still be stuck. And I have been there several times. So your ability to just be able to ask this question is important. Now, who is this program for? I know that most of us are parents here, but of course, this is not for everyone. If you are a parent and you are in business and you want support, you want your children to support you, because I know that if your children support you, you will grow faster. And if they don't support you, yes, you will grow, but you grow slower. And you don't want to grow slow. You want to grow fast. You want also to have the opportunity to teach them what you do, so that it becomes a skill that they possess. When you used to hear about Smith Brothers or something and Sons and Co. Those are the things, because every business owner, you need to pass it down to your children. So if you're an entrepreneur, that's where you are. If you're a parent and you know that your child is so talented, you want to support this child to be able to use this talent. And let me share with you a little bit about Vanessa. Vanessa, this thing of being arty didn't start today. She was always the one doing the scribbling, doing the drawing, but we didn't know what to do with these skills until obviously when I met Donia, and Donia just made their confidence exude, and she could do whatever she wants to do. And now this is where she is designing websites for people that she could never even have imagined working with. So your child could be talented, but they're not making money. But why not? They can make money. So you want that support so that you guide them. And of course, this will be for you. If you are just a parent who goes to work and you desire that, you know what, with this internet space, why don't I also do a side hustle? This is for you, so that you can start gradually helping them use the hours that they would have spent using games and all those things and getting into trouble. Just kind of structure their lives into this so that they have something doing. Again, going back to Donia, she used to say that when they talk about signing up petitions and our children being involved in crime, she would say that children who work under her would be so busy to the extent that they won't even have time to think about anything, any vices, because your child would just be so preoccupied with building their own life that they will not have time to get involved in things like that. And for me, the joy of it is the fact that I look across the room and I see my children sitting there and actually busy doing something useful for themselves. Now, I also know that sometimes after all the training you finish and then you come, there's nothing to fall back on. These are the bonuses, I would say. In terms of the bonus, three of them, which are the online programs. So I designed this Facebook Marketing Made Simple program. I was about to launch it when I just kept getting these ideas about, are you not coaching people? Are you not helping people? So I decided that instead of that, I will do this program and then add that to it, so that because I know Facebook has what, over 2.7, 2.8 billion people, and some people have just made money purely just by opening a Facebook account and actually building a community around themselves. So Facebook Made Simple would give you how to run a Facebook page, how to run a Facebook group, what to post, challenges, and all those things is important. And I think most importantly, how to run a Facebook advertising, which is the advanced form of Facebook marketing. So that is the Facebook marketing made simple. Next one is the influencer, Insta influencer course. So Blessing, can you take that on, please?
Hiya, yes. So the Insta influencer course is my course, which is essentially designed to help you grow your Instagram account and to get a following to what I've done, or, you know, even more if you really put yourself to it. So the course consists of 5 modules. It starts up with setting the Instagram account. So if you just don't even know where to start with Instagram, I've got you covered. Starts off with setting up the Instagram account. Then we move on to getting content. So, you know, if you're going to create your own content or if you're going to just grab it from somewhere, we go through that. Then the next module is insights, which may not make a lot of sense to you. Essentially, it just is a bit more information about your followers and where they're from, how your posts are doing. And then next module is about actually posting and growing the following. So I show you how to post and then also the things you can do to grow your account and to make it bigger. And then last but not least, I show you how to monetize and essentially how to post adverts and make money from your Instagram account.
Lovely. Thank you so much. Vanessa, take on Monetize Your Passion, please.
Okay. Yes, so my course is called Monetize Your Passion, and it's a bit more broad.
Okay. You need to change your settings on the Wi-Fi. She's in her bedroom and it's a bit of a distance, so there's that disconnect. Okay. So just to talk about Vanessa's the Monetize Your Passion. Oh, Vanessa, when you're if it's working, can you come on, please? Hello, Nessa. No. Okay. So Monetize Your Passion is a course that Vanessa designed and is for young people. All it's doing is that is to help them to understand how to start a business, the ideas, because for young people, they don't need a lot of ideas, they don't need a lot of things, and for them, it's us adults who actually complicate it when it comes to business. And I say that because when I started with them, they started making money way before me. And Vanessa is back. Vanessa.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Maybe that was the Wi-Fi.
It's the Wi-Fi, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought I got kicked out for a second. But yeah, moving on to the second module, which is about service versus product. So I go through the difference between service-based businesses, sorry, and product-based businesses, and the pros and cons of each one, and what each type of business includes, and which one would be best for you. And then the third one is about searching for clients. So the different types of ways that you can search for clients, very similar to the identify in S.I.M.P.L.Y. So looking at websites and or maybe social media, and how different ways that you can basically search for clients. And then after that, I talk about staying organized, which is something I get asked about a lot, especially being a student and doing all of this. It's like 2 different worlds. So I do get asked quite a lot, how do I manage to balance the two? And I think that I've found quite a healthy way of doing so. And then on top of that, having time to obviously spend time with my family and my friends, and go out to London and those kinds of things. So I go through all of that, all of my tips and tricks of ways that I manage to really utilize my time and master time management. And then the last one is about sorting out your finances, because of course, even though it's great to make all the money and get your business going, there's really no point if you're not going to find a way to actually save and budget and grow that income. So I go through really, really simple ways that you can save money and budget and learn all of these different things at a young age. So yes.
Thank you so much.
All.
Yes. And last but not the least is a Facebook group where you have tons of support and ask any question at any time. Yeah. Now, what will this mean for you? I think this is a question to you as a parent or as a child. What would this mean for you? I want to say that having an incredible relationship with your children is the most important thing that any parent could wish for. There is a saying, I think I've mentioned this before, money is replenishable. So we go to work and make money, but the money can always be replaced every month. But the time that we're losing, that we're not actually with our children, is never coming back. And sometimes when I hear stories about, and this used to actually freak me out a lot when I first came into this country, that you do all that and then you grow old and the children don't even come and visit. It's all because they are also busy. They're busy doing the same thing that you were doing before. So please, we need to break that cycle. It will reduce your stress levels, because if you are able to help your children and you're working in harmony, nothing beats that. And then your child will develop their entrepreneurial skills. Once they get to understand this thing of how money is made, that once those skills are nailed, that is a great way of them moving forward into getting their future career path set. Because as I mentioned, they will finish university, massive debt, no jobs to do. And they're still, waiting for mom and dad to continuously give them pocket money. And they're buried inside the room playing video games. And if it's young girls, they are going out and spending at your expense. So I would say that we might as well help them to make money. And that's it. In a nutshell, these are all the things, a recap. So if you can take a picture of that, that will be good for you if you want to book a call. I am looking for 10 people, only 10 people, because as you have seen, there's a lot of time involved in helping with this. So 10 maximum is the number of people I'm looking for. And indeed, we would, it has to be a phone call, Zoom call, I would say. So book a call, and that's the link. I think I will put that in the chat box so that you can, sorry about this. I'll put that in the chat, just a second. Okay. I'm just gonna unshare now and then put that in the link. Okay. So it's in the chat, so you can press that, and then once you press, let me just also bring that out so that you can see what that looks like when you go on to, so when you click on the link, here is S.I.M.P.L.Y Family Business Consultation. That's where you click to book a call, and we would have a chat, because we have to talk. I have to know where you are at this point and what you want to do, and then we talk about how we can help you, and if that is something that you want to take forward, indeed we would be willing to move forward with you. Any question, please? Thank you so much, all of you, for coming. I am really grateful. I appreciate you all for the time you have taken to come and listen to us. Without you here, we wouldn't have had any program. I'm so blessed to have you all. Any question, please? Any question for me, for Blessing, for Vanessa? We are open to answer your questions. Thank you. Or if you can put it in the chat, if you can unmute yourself and ask, or if you want to put it in the chat. So Blessing, please scan through the chat and see if you can see any question. That would be wonderful. Okay, thank you, Angela. Angela says amazing, very insightful, love it. That's Mavis, the boss lady for Miss Ghana.
I see a question.
Okay, sorry, Beatrice. This is Beatrice.
Hello.
Yes.
Young and prolific.
Hi, my sweet. Hi. Yes.
I've listened to your stuff, and it's really, really insightful. Okay, what I wanted to find out is, how do you build? Because I know you've been saying it, and on a practical level, it doesn't sound as easy when
Yeah.
you're trying to build, sort of like get your following.
Yes.
Because you know what I do.
Yeah.
You know what I do. So how do I build my fan base
Yeah.
so that I can sort of like keep moving forward? Yeah.
Okay. So in terms of of building your fan base, there are basic things. I think I've mentioned this to you before. There are basic things that you need to do. Hello.
Hi.
Yes, there are basic things that you need to do. Really, really basic, especially with what I see with what you do. One, you need to engage with the people. So sometimes you send the post, and then when you send the post, you need to put the links about, okay, what do you want them to do? One thing about online space is that people want to be told what to do. If you doubt it, next time you're watching a video, if the person doesn't say like this video, chances are you won't like it. Even though it's great and it has given you a lot of information. But once they say, if you've enjoyed this video, like it, and you see that automatically it comes to your mind. It's the same thing that you want to do on your post. So when you post, you have to tell people what to do. That is one aspect. Number two is that you want to attract the young people. And that is a great thing. What I see is that you don't actually even market the people who are coming to your platform. So you just send the post, oh, I'm meeting this person on Monday, and sometimes it's once.
Yeah. It's true. It's true. It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, you need to get people excited. If you're not excited about it, obviously people aren't going to be excited. I'll tell you about who is excited. Angela. Angela is the one who you have to I know you're excited about what you do, but sometimes as well we normally think that, oh, people would think we are too much. No, the more people see you, the more they buy into what you do, and the more they like what you do. And when they like what you do, guess what? One thing you should know about social media, it's not everybody you are looking for. Those who think you are too much, they can block you, they can do whatever. But those who you are going after, they are your people. They will want you at any point. I follow this guy called Russell Brunson. The first time I met him, I could not stand him. He was just too much on my face all the time. Guess what? Those are his books, Russell Brunson's books. I'm finding them, I'm reading them, I'm following. When the people know that you have value, you are giving them value. It doesn't matter how you look like. It doesn't matter. They will follow you. But you have to make sure that you are, in your case, you are posting at least 3 times a week.
Okay.
When you get a guest,
Okay.
you need to hype it 3 times at least before the guests come on.
Okay.
And after they finish, 3 times, you need to remind people, oh, I met with this person. And also, sometimes the catchphrases of your guests, they bring out these salient points. Those are the points that you need to list. And then maybe the following 2 days or the following day, I would say even a week, why not? Because this is a 1-hour program. That person has given wisdom to people. You need to be said. So, for instance, let me say, when Blessing and Vanessa came to your show, they talked about a lot of things. So they talked about racism. They talked about business. They talked about their confidence.
Sorry, Mama Lou, you seem, yeah, thank you. Yeah.
So they talked about racism. They talked about confidence. They talked about business. You could pick each of those topics and write about them every day.
Okay.
And then put the link. Oh, when so and so came, and then you do the pictures. I see that you do that. That's so thumbs up for you. I see that you put the pictures. So let them, you take different pictures. So every day you're putting the picture. Young people wants to follow people online. Okay. They want to follow, but you have, and I don't know why you are not even very active on Instagram. Seriously.
Mom, I think we should, address some of the other questions as well.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
okay. I'm
Yeah,
out.
because don't want to leave people waiting too long.
Okay, yeah. So who else has typed in?
I've seen a question here about Rich Dad Poor Dad. What age did you let your children read it? I think I listened to the audio book quite a while ago. That was probably over a year or
As if they
2
can
years
read.
ago.
8 years, 7 years, 8 years, because it doesn't have anything barrier language, but it just tells us what the school is doing to our children. It's not saying that our children shouldn't go to school, but it gives you a perspective of how to start planning your life at a young age, and that is powerful. Thank you.
Also, I do want to mention that they have a really tiny book that's aimed at teenagers, which has bite-sized quotes and that kind of thing. So if your children are on the younger side, then maybe you would want to get them that, because it's a lot more digestible and understandable than the whole thing.
Great. Any question anywhere on the chat, please? Noah is saying so amazing. I have really been enlightened about social media marketing. Thank you, Noah. Thank you.
Oh,
All the way from Ghana.
I've seen another one.
Sorry?
Oh, I just said I've seen another one about juggling school and business.
Okay, that's your terrain, Nessa.
Yes. So it's been a while since I've been in school now because of summer holidays. So it's a bit fuzzy right now. But from what I can remember, I used to, these are just a few of the things. There are a lot more, but to keep it short, I used to wake up earlier than I needed to before school, so that I could get some, so I could respond to emails and do basic admin stuff and that kind of thing. And so even before I'd gotten into school, I'd already gotten some form of work done. And the times where I wouldn't go on the bus with my friends, I would use that time to work on my business as well, just simple things so that I wouldn't have to worry about it when I got home. And again, most lunches I would spend with my friends, but the times that I didn't, I decided to use that time to either get homework done as soon as possible, so that I could focus on business when I got home, or I would work on business and then do homework when I got home. So that's another thing, doing my homework as soon as possible, and trying to do it during school hours so that I wasn't too overwhelmed when I got home, or getting, as soon as I did get home, just do my homework straight away, and so that I had the rest of the evening to do business work. So yeah, those are the main points that I had. Also, just honestly, just slotting in different time slots. So from this hour, I'm going to dedicate it to business. This hour is going to be for resting. This hour is going to be for schoolwork. When you do it like that, and when you do things like limiting your time on social media and actually just giving yourself a bit of discipline, it's honestly very easy to achieve when you do that.
Yeah, and I just want to add something. Because it's an online business, it's really easy to just do it anywhere. So like you said, I found myself like on my way to school, like I would just be on my phone, just engaging with my Instagram account, and you just need an electronic and an internet connection and you're sorted. Even if it's like 5-10 minutes, that's still enough time to at least do some engagement or something.
Exactly.
And then
one last point is journaling, whether that's digital journaling or like with an actual book. It will save your life, seriously. To-do lists, those kinds of things, I'm all about that. That's how I kind of manage my time.
Wonderful. I don't see anybody ask that question, but they always ask you, how do you manage social media with all the bad things out there? So please answer that, or just say a little bit about it.
Blessing, do you want me to go first, or?
If you want to, or
Okay.
Go for it. Why not?
Yeah, okay. So I'm not really as on social media as I was when I was doing the food account. But it is actually very easy to keep yourself safe when you know how to. So first of all, I spent the first year or more growing the account with thousands of followers, and nobody knew what I looked like, and none of my friends knew that I was doing it, because I was obviously taking pictures of food. I didn't really make it as personal to the point where I needed to show my face. So I waited for a time where I was comfortable to tell my friends and other family members and actually show my face on the account. So there are multiple ways that you can get creative with it. As long as you don't want to become a full influencer, then I really don't think you need to show your face. And then there's obviously things like privacy controls and that kind of thing as well.
Yeah, so like kind of the same with Vanessa. For I think the first 2 years or so, I never showed my face on my account. And even now that I do every now and then, I really don't get anything negative. Instagram is very good at showing you what you want to see. So when you go on it and you like certain posts, then it knows that this is the type of stuff you want to see. So if you're on Instagram and you're doing the right things, you're liking the right things, you're never going to see that other side of Instagram where it's negative and dark. And on top of that, if anyone does make you feel uncomfortable or anything like that, it's very easy to block them. If you go into your settings, you can literally disable certain words in your comments so people can't say certain words. You can even just turn off comments as a whole. So there are a lot of safety measures for you to feel safe on there and not feel threatened or anything. And again, the basics of, don't share your phone number, don't share your address, that type of stuff. Yeah.
Great. Oops. So much, yeah.
I just wanted to say, I saw a question asking what age did we start? So I think I was about 15.
Yeah, Vanessa was 12, but you were...
Yeah, I was 12.
Yeah.
Oh, I was 15.
I've seen another question here about how much time we spend a day on the business. Honestly, it really varies. There are some days like today that are quite full on with planning and working with clients and all of that thing. Today was quite hectic. There are other days where I will work on it for maybe 2 hours and then go out with my friends for the rest of the day. Honestly, it varies all the time. The standard day for me, I try to work within a 9 to 5 system, like working from 9 a.m. and then 5 p.m. and if I have no other work to do during that day, then that's when I will rest and I will do my own thing. That's obviously now that it's in the summer holidays. During school days, then it would be a bit of work at the beginning of the day, and then maybe an hour or two after school, and then yeah.
Yeah, it's all about time management, to be honest. I'm quite a night person, so I kind of like to start my days a bit late and then just work into the night. And that's the great thing about being online, is that I could literally be working at, I mean, I don't do it that often, but I could literally be working at 3 a.m. if I wanted to. And there's no problem with that because I'm not constricted to any hours. It's just me working on myself. And again, time management, knowing if I've made arrangements to go out with friends on this day, then I need to do X, Y, and Z to make sure that I'm not behind or, clients aren't being posted for, stuff like that.
Amazing. Yeah. So I like that the fact that I think I've mentioned that before, just knowing where your children is, for me, that is, the great thing about this, in that a lot of times I'm working with them, a lot of times we are together. And we also have set times that we just sit and talk and do nothing. So every night we kind of sit and do our UCB and listen to UCB word for today. We talk about it. What did you learn? And after we've done that, then we ask questions about the day. How has your day been? What have you done during the day? It took some time for them to actually get the hang of it, in that to be able to say, oh, I did X, Y, Z. Sometimes for young people, it can be difficult for them to articulate their day, but this comes with practice as well. And it's the same for when they go out, they're able to have that confidence to talk to people as well, which is great. Yeah.
We have a question from Noah. When you first started, did you ever feel like giving up at some point in time? If yes, what was your greatest motivation to keep you going?
Several times.
Yeah. I guess I'll go first. For me, during the food account, I I did mention that I've worked with loads of different restaurants, small restaurants and then huge restaurant chains like Shake Shack. But it wasn't always like that. It took quite a lot of rejection before reaching that point. And I remember I was emailing people for months and months and months because I used to see all these other Instagram accounts collaborating with people, and I thought, why not me? Why does no one want to work with me? So yeah, I really hustled to kind of open that door for me. And just at the point where I was slowing down and I was feeling really upset about it and I wanted to give up, that's when a restaurant actually reached out to me and invited me to collaborate with them. And then from then on, it was more of just like a snowball effect. And suddenly some people who rejected me initially were coming back to me, and more restaurants were coming, and it was just like incredible. And to think that if I had given up then, I wouldn't have experienced any of that, and I wouldn't be at the position that I am today, is just another thing that always makes me keep going when I reach rock bottom like that.
Okay, thank you so much, Nessa. Thank you. Any other question before we run up?
Oh, Blessing, you don't want to say anything about that?
I guess, okay, yeah. So for me, I've also, felt like not going for it and like giving up sometimes. And I guess it's a case of, I mean, just setting steps in place to be like, okay, so with my Instagram, especially what I'm trying to do now is schedule myself to be like, okay, at this specific time, this is when I post, and this is how long I engage, etc. and etc. and just keep on going.
Yeah. So Noah, to answer your questions, for me, what kept me going was, if you were following from the beginning, you saw the slides of the young people that I put on the slide. I have been following those children. I call them children. For my children, they are not children, but I call them these young, incredible people, just kind of actually making it and making money for themselves online. When I look at them, all tiredness fades away because I know that it's possible. And to see their journey as well. So Montel, for instance, when I was following him, the guy was making 5K. And then so I see that gradual progression. And I know that, it's just a matter of time, that if I just keep pushing and helping my children, they are going to get there at some point. So yes, I think your why has to be so big enough that you can't give up, because why should I? Those people are humans. And when I talked about Caroline, when I looked at Caroline and looked at her being from Africa, that was it for me. If fellow Africans are doing it, and in fact, when I met Caroline, I was telling her this and she was laughing. I said, I was looking for 3 things to disqualify myself from even coming closer to her. The first question was, did her dad leave her any money? Number 2, was her father or any of her relatives a politician? And then number 3 is her husband having money? Those 3 things, if any one of them was yes, that was it. Because I would say, I would just dissociate myself. But no, I didn't get that answer. She grew up from a humble background. And so sometimes you have to look at other people, because when you see that they also are like you and they have done it, all you can do is to keep being persistent and learning and just kind of being laser focused about what you're doing, because it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
And
I've seen a question. Do you
still do food? Restaurant.
Yes.
Can you say the question?
I don't know which question it is, but there's 2 here. Okay. So Pastor Maureen is asking, does she get a prize for coming first into Hoop?
Oh yes, £25 voucher. We didn't celebrate that. We need to celebrate it. Yes, Amazon voucher, 25 quid. Yes, well done. Yes.
And my other question is, does Vanessa still do food Marketing.
Vanessa, can you take that question?
I think she's frozen.
Okay, so Vanessa actually, right now she still does social media only for my clients. She wants to brand herself as a web designer and then a branding strategist. So she really doesn't enjoy doing social media. But lately, when she's working with Dr. Nakia, because it's LinkedIn, and LinkedIn is a very different platform. And also, that lady is talking about racial equality, which Vanessa is passionate about. So yeah. Otherwise,
sorry, am I still frozen?
Sorry.
Am I still? Oh, okay, you can hear me.
Vanessa, the question is, do you still do food?
Yeah, I was like halfway through answering it and I think I froze.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the short answer is no. Long answer is, while it was a chapter of my life that I would absolutely do again in a heartbeat, I just thought that I didn't want to kind of stretch myself too thin and not really give web design 100% when that's what my passion really became over time. So yeah, and my full focus now is on web design.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Mom, we have one more question.
I thought I saw another.
Yeah. How did you handle rejections? And there's also do you experience procrastination? How do you deal with it? Any excuse to stand still and I hold on to it.
Okay, let's take that one.
Okay, so the first question, how do you handle rejections? For me, I know it's nothing personal and it's nothing against me. Just because someone said no, that just means they're not the right person that I should be working with or wants to work with me. And so I just move on from that. Do you experience procrastination? All the time? Yeah. I'm like the queen of it, to be honest. But I guess it's just a case of like when I sit down, especially for me, it's as long as I just have some music in the background and I put my head down and I say, this is what I need to do. I get it done. I also have I feel my best working hours. So sometimes if I'm up a bit late, then I find myself just really going hard at like 12 a.m. and just working straight till 3. So it's kind of just a case of kind of just saying to yourself, like, get up, you just need to do this. Like, if you stay any longer, the consequences aren't going to be that great. So you might as well get it done. And on top of that, sometimes what needs to be done is actually a lot quicker than you think it is. But because you're procrastinating, it takes longer. But if you just sit down and do it, it's done.
Yeah, and I think that's where I passionately believe that parents to get involved, because when you are involved, then you are overseeing and ensuring that, okay, have you got this done? Have you got that done? Have you got that done? I remember yesterday, that was the case of us starting new social media accounts and also doing, preparing for this program. And I just had to be on top of things. And I kept asking this same question. Have you got this done? Have you got this done? Have you got this done? You know, your teens would be sometimes feel frustrated about, oh, mom, why are you always asking? But of course, they have to do what they have to do. Yeah. Vanessa, do you have anything to add to that?
In terms of handling rejection, that is something that I did struggle with at the beginning. But I feel like when you put yourself out there enough times, you kind of become quite desensitized to it. Like now I know that it actually is nothing personal, because I think back to the times where I've rejected people and I haven't even really thought about it that deeply. It's not because I dislike the person or anything, it's just that isn't the right thing for me. So yeah, with handling rejection, it's difficult, but I think you just really need to put yourself out there and kind of desensitize yourself to it. In terms of procrastination, I don't struggle with it as much because I've noticed that when I do procrastinate, I'm the type of person who gets really, really stressed out about it later on. So I prefer to just get things done straight away. But some things that I do are having a to-do list. Like I know that when I've written something down or I've typed something out, I really, really want to get it done. So that's just how I kind of do it. And then also I give myself rewards afterwards. Sometimes it's not anything like fancy. Maybe it's just like a extra slice of cake or something, but or like a cinnamon roll or something. But honestly, just small goals and small rewards for yourself will make a big difference.
Okay. Thank you so much. I just somebody says price, please. In terms of price, when we sit and we talk, that I have to find out whether we are even going to be working in the first place, and then we would then tailor whatever training that you need towards the pricing. So it is not going to be anything so expensive that you couldn't afford to do. Just the last thing is to, if you look on the chat, I have reposted the Calendly link. If you can book it, if all this means anything to you and you really, really think that you have to get your children on board, especially in the summer where they have time in their hand, utilize the skills, support them to actually utilize the skills, because what normally happens is that people send their children to training companies that train only children, and I did that before, and I thought it wasn't anything useful for us, because if you train them, if you send your children to be trained by any of these organizations and they train the children and they come back, it's still the same. Like we're talking about procrastination, we're talking about work ethics, and you, the parent, you are not involved. Guess what? They are not going to be engaging, and that's why we have all these trainings going on, and children aren't actually changing their mindset and changing what they do. Yeah. So yes.
I've seen one last question, which is mostly directed to you, Mum, which is, how did you get them started with you? Were they already willing to do the business? Did you need to motivate them? If so, how?
Oh, thank you. So in terms of getting them started, I, number one, didn't motivate them. So that's just one thing. I chose what I knew they would want. So if you want to run a business with your child, I believe that it is better to do something that you think that they would enjoy doing. And when they say that if you do what you enjoy in this world, you don't have to work a day. That is absolutely true. For me, social media, I had to sit myself down to do it, because I had to do it for my children. It wasn't because I loved social media or life being in the limelight. That's just absolutely not me. But I knew that if I chose social media, they would gel at it. So how did Vanessa, it was Vanessa who started with the interest, because I was trying to do a blog post and I asked her to get me pictures of food. And then so she got the pictures and then did whatever her magic on them. As I told you, they have the skills anyway. It is not that they don't have it. And then that kind of, she and the younger brother were now contemplating on starting a food account, and which was what they named it, Yum Yum. It was exciting that day. One thing that you have to do with your children is that, and I learned, even though I used to do it, but I learned more from Donnie. He says, celebrate them all the time. The little thing that they do, just hide them, and they are over the moon. So that's what we did. When they started the account, even if they got 2 followers, we celebrated it. 5 followers, we celebrated. So it was just like kind of gradually celebrating them in that sense. I did not have to push them at all. It was something that they wanted to do. I had to make the way to learn social media so that the skills just made sense to me, and then supporting them became easier.
Yeah.
I don't know if that answered your question.
That was good. I also wanted to just quickly add that when you are delegating work, you choose who to delegate the work to based off of our strengths. Like for me, if you have a flyer that you want to do or something, then you'll send that to me. But if you want admin work done or any of the technical things done, then Blessing is the main person for that, or something really simple, maybe Yamdana. So just doing things that actually align with our strengths and our interests, that kind of helps motivate us more.
Wonderful. Okay. I think we
That's
are nearly
all.
at the top of the hour now.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We still have 35 people on the line. Amazing. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you, Pastor Catherine. Thank you. Thank you, Pastor Maureen. Caroline was here. I saw Caroline. Noah, still in Ghana. Amazing. Thank you. Thank you, Kalis. I haven't seen you in ages. And for those of you whose names I haven't mentioned, Pastor Gina is here as well, whose names I haven't mentioned, you know, I really do appreciate you. Sister Agnes, Ajay, thank you so much for coming. I appreciate your time, but most importantly, you need to be thinking about how can you help your children? Because I think for me, that is the bottom line. How can you help them? How can you help them use this internet thing that they were born into, that they have all the skills to do amazing things on? So
Exactly.
without
Thank you so much, everyone.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, and have a good evening.